It was a quiet Saturday afternoon when Armaan decided to grab a late lunch at a new restaurant downtown. He had been feeling unusually restless lately, caught up in work stress and the constant hum of city life. The restaurant, with its warm wooden interiors and the subtle aroma of spices, promised a brief escape from the monotony. Armaan pushed open the door, expecting the usual clatter of dishes and chatter of diners. But as soon as he stepped inside, his world seemed to pause. At a corner of the room, balancing a tray with 2 steaming plates of food, was someone he never thought he would see again. His ex-wife, Zara. And not just Zara, but visibly pregnant. Her round belly noticeable even beneath the slightly loose apron she wore. Armaan froze in place, his mind racing. The last time he had seen her, they had parted on bitter terms, the weight of unresolved arguments and broken promises lingering between them. Now, here she was, smiling gently at a table of customers, completely unaware that he had walked in. For a long moment, he couldn't move. Memories flooded back. Late-night fights over bills, whispered apologies that came too late, the hollow laughter of better times, and finally, the pain of parting ways. He remembered how they had once dreamed of a family together, of building a life filled with warmth and laughter. That dream had crumbled, leaving him with nothing but regret and occasional guilt. Zara, on the other hand, moved gracefully, expertly managing the tray as she navigated the crowded restaurant. There was a calmness in her demeanor, a quiet confidence that Armaan remembered from years ago. He noticed how her hair was pulled back neatly, how her hands moved with precision, how even in the mundane act of serving food, she seemed to radiate an inner strength. The sight was jarring and oddly humbling for him. He slowly approached the counter, trying to act casual, though every step felt like a monumental effort. His mind whirled with questions. How had she ended up here? Why didn't he know she was pregnant? Was the baby his? Or someone else's? Armaan realized he had no right to ask, but the curiosity gnawed at him relentlessly. Zara finally glanced up and caught his gaze. Her eyes widened, and for a second, the restaurant faded into silence. Recognition and shock flashed across her face, followed by a hesitant, careful smile. "Armaan," she said softly, her voice carrying a mixture of surprise and restraint. He nodded, unable to find words immediately. "Can I help you?" she asked, returning her attention to the table in front of her. Trying to maintain professionalism, Armaan shook his head, still staring at her. I didn't expect to see you here," he finally managed. Zara smiled faintly, a hint of sadness in her eyes. "Well, life has a way of surprising us, doesn't it?" She excused herself from the table and walked over, careful not to spill the plates she was carrying. Her steps were measured, each movement deliberate, as paths you and others had taken. As he ate, he watched her move around the restaurant, greeting customers with patience and warmth, managing the chaos with grace. He smiled faintly to himself, silently wishing her and her unborn child all the happiness in the world. The encounter had been brief, but it had changed something inside him. He felt lighter, more aware, and strangely inspired. By the time he left, Armaan had decided that he wouldn't dwell on the past anymore. Seeing Zara happy, strong, and thriving was enough. Life had taken them down different roads, but that didn't mean they couldn't respect and cherish the moments they had shared and the growth they had experienced since. As he stepped outside into the cool evening air, Armaan felt a quiet gratitude for the unexpected meeting. It was a reminder that life moved forward, people changed, and sometimes closure came in the form of a fleeting glance, a shared smile, or the realization that the other person had found their own peace. He walked away from the restaurant, leaving behind not just the aroma of spices and warmth, but also a piece of his lingering regret. And in its place, he carried a newfound respect for the strength of the woman he had once loved, and the journey she had taken. A journey that reminded him that life, in all its unpredictability, was still beautiful.